Hello, I'm Tommy Boy here with Checkers and Wreckers and BWSPORTS1.com, and I got a guest with me here today, Andy O'Gara, the owner here of this fantastic Whiteland Raceway Park. Andy, why don't you talk a little bit? We're going to take a lap around here. Let's start at the start-finish line a little behind us, but we'll start here. And how did it all begin?
Really, my Uncle Jim, my mom's brother, he started coming down here. He had a favorite in the late 80s named Trent Harold, and we started coming down with him to watch Trent run some Saturday night races, and back the trucks up to the fence line and bring the coolers with you, and just watch good local Saturday night short track racing on a grassroots level with karting. And not long after that, had two cousins, Josh and Scott Haywood, who they did everything they could to get involved in the sport. Had a paper route and went and bought all the stuff to run Briggs Junior class. So they started in the early 90s, and by the mid 90s I was fortunate enough to have them going, and they got us involved and set us up with a used package to get rolling in the sport. And from there we really just progressed from Briggs to Yamaha to 100cc Open to shifter carts, and have really ran every class in between, and now are kind of going through the cycle again with our own kids.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we saw the little twins back there. It's like what I was calling them. One looks just like dad, the other looks just like mom, and mom's pretty famous herself, correct?
Yeah, she's done an awesome job on the IndyCar career and running midgets and sprint cars, and it's been almost 10 years ago since she ran her last 500 now, but she still loves the sport as much as she always has, and this is our baby now with Whiteland. So this is her new passion, her next step, I guess.
Absolutely. So we're walking down the straightaway here, the fast part of the track, and we fast forward now to here. You used to race on this track, you said, back in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah. Wow, he really made you feel old there, didn't he?
Little different than what it is here. You guys have done so much work here to this track. I know I used to race out here when I was like 13, 14 years old, and just the difference here from what it was then to today is just absolutely phenomenal. What kind of wanted to make you guys not just take over Whiteland, because you guys had, I think there was a decent car count coming in here, but it wasn't fantastic when you guys took over. But you guys obviously, you want to improve it. You're just not happy with the standard.
Because I believed in the sport of karting as a whole throughout central Indiana. I heard from a few previous people that, the sport's just not what it was, and the car counts just aren't there. And having SIK and knowing the racers that come in there, and excuse me, the lack of local entry level options for these guys, I knew we could make it work, and I was deeply saddened to know that the potential of this place being bulldozed, and all the good times that we had down here. And Mike Swales, the previous owner, put the opportunity out in front of us, gave us a few weeks to get the deal done, really. I went back to our IndyCar partner, Mr. Wink Hartman, and told him about Whiteland and how much it had done for my career and my family, and tugging at my heartstrings here and there, and told him that I could do it. I could swing a little bit, but I needed a 50-50 partner, and I would inject 50 and he would inject 50, and we would go forward and find a way to make it all happen. So we came down. When we had signed the contract, there was a race the next day, basically, that we let Mike still run. And I believe there was about 15 entries overall, every class.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
So we sat there, and through the drivers meeting, we told everybody that we had purchased the track, that we were going to be closing it for a minimum of, I think, 6 weeks, to do a quick revamp, to reopen by October of 18, I guess that was now. And but when they got back, that we promised them something, we would do something different. We would do something really cool in the 6 week time period if you just give us time.
So we hit this high bank here, high expectations coming from you guys with buying the track here. And I mean, going forward, it's been a great success. You guys are grabbing these car counts. We're really growing the sport here, it seems like. As I've been here, this is my 5th race, I think.
Yeah.
And I've seen car counts grow even throughout this summer, and what we're going through. So that has to speak in volumes.
I think it does. You know, everybody wants to get outside. I mean, our first race back here, before we ever did the garages, before we ever improved the PA, before we ever resealed or did any of the infield configurations or anything, we had 169 entries the first race back.
Nice.
And now to be able to draw sanctioning bodies like WKA, like VKA, like OVKA, and SIRA, and the next gen karting folks, and it's really, really cool to see that the merit here, I guess, you know, that everybody loves it as much as we do. You go through the pits and everybody's got their own story. We were just the lucky ones to be in that spot to be able to save it for the rest of us. So.
Absolutely. I mean, do you think kind of the success has grown off of your experience with USAC as well as Sarah's with IndyCar, just coming together and really knowing how to run this?
I mean, maybe a few connections with just telling people about it, but I give all the credit to my friends and family, like from having the connections to help us get a good price on reseal coating and restriping, and just working with local partners like that want to see and agree with the long-term vision of the place, and understand who's come out of here on a professional level. And you know, don't get me wrong, the IndyCar stuff, the USAC background, none of that's hurt. Bridgestone's been an incredible partner to help us with, you know, banquet stuff and season sponsorship dollars, and really elevating the place, as many others have. But you know, it's almost like a different area for us, and it's no different than anything else. If you work hard and you prove to everybody that you're putting your best foot forward, you know, good things will come.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have proved that here as we're walking through the hairpin here. I'll tell you my story here of Whiteland through this hairpin. When I first started racing here, I didn't think you had a lift, and I was 14 years old.
He learned very quickly.
There were no barricades. You're going out in the grass. Dad's over here laughing his rear end off. So we take a tight turn into the future here with the hairpin. You kind of mentioned racers that have come from the past, but you've got some solid drivers out here. One in particular, in Elliott Cox. Why don't you talk about his progression through Whiteland and how it's grown him as a driver going into the next step?
Well, Elliott, in my opinion, I've been very fortunate enough to watch some really unbelievable progression over the last 15, 20 years in IndyCar and in USAC, and you just get that sense when you're around somebody who really has the whole package. And Elliott's really special. He's a kid that we've kept our eye on for, you know, probably realistically 3.5, maybe 4 years now, but really getting to know the family off the track in the last year and a half, maybe 2 years there, and just watching how Elliott carries himself, how he represents his sponsors just on a local level, how hard he works from a workout standpoint, from a simulation standpoint, from a testing standpoint, from a nutrition standpoint. I mean, the kid's 12 years old going on 22.
30. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
He wants it as bad as anybody in that age group I've ever seen. And it's just a great family, great story, great family, raw talent, and unbelievably good driver feedback. And Sarah and I were super excited once again to call Wink Hartman and say, hey, you want to partner with this kid? We want to do an F4 program to where we can bring up some of these future racers and then hopefully grow that program from there. You know, we've got the sprint car, the Silver Crown, the midgets and stuff, but we wanted another level of open wheel cars to have that option at such a young age. So when Wink okayed that and we were able to sign Elliott, it's a big day, and we're excited to see what comes of it.
Absolutely. And we talk about the competition here because Elliott's going for a title today, and he doesn't have it sealed up. So to have that raw talent here, and on top of that, guys chasing him for that title, it just makes the racing here so much fun to watch in the pits. How's that make you feel to know that you got solid racing going on your track?
I mean, to look about like Eli Warren and Elliott Cox and Maxwell family and
Them crazy Stevens boys.
There's so many good people that run on a national level and a regional level, and then come and fill their schedules with us on a local level, which I think is just beyond cool, because you always want to run against the best. That's what we're here to do. We want to gauge ourselves. We want to have bragging rights, and I think it shows, especially at the junior level, just how good some of these kids are. And I think it's been great doing the different configurations this year, because nobody shows up with an astronomical advantage. We try to make testing cheap, you know, $20, and they come out here and run all day. And I know it's been big for our kids alone. So so much raw talent at a young age, and so many opportunities. We're just happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. We're going to the final turn here onto the straightaway. Let's talk about the future here, as you have talked big plans here. You guys have you know, mentioned kind of expanding. You want to build onto the garages. So you've obviously, now you've got the participation, and now you guys are ready to make this place even better.
I think so. You know, we're within the final stages of being able to close on additional acreage to the north. So get about 5 acres over there, expand parking, you know, put some proper pavement or good rock in for nice parking over there, redo this tower, get some garages underneath, better spots for our rental cars, put a couple suites up top with timing and scoring, and then I think add another 14 garages on the south east side of the property over here. So you know, the market's there for it. The people have been receptive and cordial, and in the end, if we can take that money and pay the monthly note, I'm happy to have this place be more of a heartstring, passionate hobby and pay for itself than I am to become a millionaire off of Whiteland.
Right, absolutely.
That's not going to happen.
So you mentioned the rental carts. This is the last thing I'll ask, because this is a big part for you. Is you guys do the rental carts here. You've actually got the facility and Speedway, the Speedway indoor karting.
Yep.
You're doing something else with that. You've been pretty busy, right?
Yeah. We've been in Daytona the last 6 weeks building Speedway indoor karting Daytona. Multi-level structure, road course, 12-turn road course, slick track oval, all the latest technology from CRG and 360 karting, 3-axe throwing lanes, full conference and catering areas, 20 video arcades, and it's about a 47,000 square foot place. We worked really hard on that. Speedway indoor karting in Speedway and 1911 Grill are still our everyday babies, and they are incredible. They're the root of everything that keeps us going here for Whiteland and allows us to look at expansion. And you know, we pull from those to grow everything as a whole. So, you know, God willing, we'll be able to keep doing that.
Absolutely. Andy, thank you so much for your time. I know you got to go set up a few carts. You got some kids running for a championship today. I'll let you do that. I'm not running for a championship. I'm running for fun. Thank you for letting us come out here and have fun with these guys.
Anytime. I appreciate you guys very, very much.